It's easy to assume that when the government sends out money, like those stimulus checks, everyone who's supposed to get one, well, gets one.
Right. But that wasn't always the case, was it?
No, exactly. Think back to 2021. There were those payments rolling out. First $1,200, then $600, and that big one, the $1,400 from the American Rescue Plan.
A critical lifeline for so many people at the time.
Absolutely. But the thing is, millions, maybe even billions of dollars in total across all the payments, they just never reached the people they were intended for.
Yeah, the data on that is pretty striking.
And that's really what we want to dig into today.
Okay.
Our mission really is to show you, our listener, how you might still, even now in 2025, be able to claim that $1,400 check. Even if you figured, that ship has sailed.
It's a really important point because looking at the estimates, a significant number of eligible folks didn't get those payments initially.
Really?
Yeah, particularly people in lower income groups and especially those who don't typically file tax returns every year.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
It just highlights how tricky it is to get aid out on such a massive scale.
Yeah.
And why these later methods for claiming the money are still so relevant.
Definitely. And let's think about why people might have missed out.
Good idea.
We're talking people who maybe didn't have to file taxes, right?
Yeah.
Their income was too low or maybe zero.
Or they moved. Address changes are a huge issue. The IRS sends it to the old place.
And poof, it's gone or returned. And let's be honest, sometimes it could just be an administrative slip-up somewhere in the system.
It's certainly possible. Bureaucracies are complex.
So if any of that sounds like your situation, you're really not alone. And it might not be too late.
That's the key message.
Just pause for a second and think. What could an extra $1,400 do for you right now? Seriously.
Yeah, it's not an insignificant amount of money.
Could it give you a little breathing room with the bills? Help knock down some debt that's hanging over you?
Or maybe start that emergency fund people always talk about.
Exactly. Or just help cover rent, groceries. I mean, for people who got it back then, that money was huge. It meant food on the table, maybe seeing a positive bank balance for the first time in a while.
That tangible impact is undeniable.
So if there's even a small chance you're still owed this money, it's absolutely worth looking into. Taking the steps to claim, it could be, well, pretty significant.
It really could. And the way to do it now relies on how the IRS set these payments up. They were basically structured as tax credit.
Tax credits. Okay, break that down a bit.
Sure. So a tax credit directly lowers any tax you might owe. But sometimes, like with these stimulus payments, if the credit is more than any tax you owe, or if you owe nothing, you get the difference back as a refund.
Got it. So it's not just about reducing taxes. You could actually get cash back.
Precisely. So the absolute key to claiming that missing $1,400 payment from 2021 is filing a 2021 tax return.
Okay, right. Let's walk through that step by step then. Focusing on that $1,400 check. Step 1, file a 2021 tax return.
That's the gatekeeper right there.
Now, I know for some people that might immediately sound like, whoa, hold on. Especially if you didn't have much income or any income that year.
Right. You might think, why would I file?
Exactly. But even if you weren't legally required to file back then, you have to file now to claim this specific credit. And the magic words you're looking for on that 2021 return are recovery rebate credit.
That's the one, the recovery rebate credit. It was created specifically for this situation, allowing people who missed out on the stimulus payments or didn't get the full amount to claim it when they filed their taxes for 2020 and, crucially here, 2021.
So by filing that 2021 return now, you're basically telling the IRS, hey, check my eligibility for that $1,400 again.
You're giving them the information they need to confirm you qualified and that their records show you weren't paid or weren't paid in full.
Okay, makes sense. So step 2 is about how to actually do the filing, preferably without spending money.
Yes, accessibility is key here.
You want to head to the IRS website, specifically irs.gov free file. All one word. Free file.
It's a great resource.
It really is. It's a portal, basically, that lists IRS-approved online tax prep services. And here's the kicker. If your income in 2021 was under $73,000.
Adjusted gross income, technically.
Right, AGI. If that was under $73K, you can use these services for free. Totally free.
And these aren't some unknown companies. You'll see names like TaxAct, Free Tax USA, reputable providers.
Yeah, familiar names, and they guide you through the whole thing.
Which is so valuable. It takes away that cost barrier, which, let's face it, can stop people with lower incomes, the very people who might need this money most, from filing.
Good point.
And these online platforms, they're designed to be pretty user-friendly. They walk you through the 2021 form section by section, and they'll specifically guide you on how to claim that recovery rebate credit.
Okay, perfect. Which brings us to step 3. Actually claiming the recovery rebate credit itself.
The action step.
So once you're working through that 2021 tax form, using free file or whatever method you choose, you'll hit a specific section or maybe just a question about this credit.
Yep, look for anything mentioning recovery rebate credit or economic impact payments.
And that's where you say, essentially, hey, I didn't get this payment, or I didn't get the full amount I thought I should have.
Right. You input the necessary info.
And then the system or the form calculates it. If you happen to be getting a refund anyway for 2021, this credit gets added on top.
Correct.
And if you don't owe any taxes and aren't getting another refund, this credit basically becomes your refund. You get that $1,400 or whatever amount you're owed sent to you as a direct deposit or a check.
Think of it like the IRS balancing the books. They have their payment records, you file claiming the credit, they compare notes, and if the money's owed, they issue it. It's a reconciliation process.
Reconciliation. Good word for it. Okay, final step then. Step 4. Submit the return and wait.
Ah, yes, the patience part.
A little patience is needed here. The IRS usually says allow about 6 to 8 weeks for processing if you mail it in. Filing electronically through free file is generally faster.
Usually quite a bit faster, yes.
And if you want to check on it, you can use the Where's My Refund tool on the IRS website.
Very useful tool.
You'll need your Social Security number, your filing status from that 2021 return, and the exact refund amount you're expecting, which would include that recovery rebate credit.
Right, have that info handy.
And look, if things get stuck or you have questions, there is an IRS helpline. It's 1-800-829-1740. Just, be prepared for potential wait times.
Especially during busy periods, yes. Using the online tool first is usually the quickest way to get an update. But patience is definitely the name of the game here. They handle millions of returns.
Millions. Okay, good advice. Now, let's quickly recap who was actually eligible for these checks, particularly that $1,400 one.
Good idea. A quick eligibility check.
Okay, main things. You needed a Social Security number. That's fundamental.
Crucial.
You couldn't be claimed as a dependent on someone else's tax return.
Very important distinction. If someone else claimed you, they likely got the credit associated with you.
Gotcha. You had to be a U.S. citizen, or what they call a resident alien.
Standard requirement for most benefits like this.
And then the income limits. For that $1,400 check, the main threshold was being under $75,000 adjusted gross income if you were single.
And under $150,000 if married, filing jointly. There were phase-outs above those levels, but those are the main cutoffs.
Right. So if you tick those boxes for back in 2021 and you didn't get a check,
then you should absolutely pursue this.
Even if you were, say, experiencing homelessness at the time, or had no income, or just assumed it was way too late.
Yes, yes, and yes. Your eligibility is based on your situation in 2021. It doesn't matter if you thought it was too late or your circumstances were complicated. Filing the return is how you claim it now.
Okay, that's really empowering. Now let's tackle some common worries or roadblocks people might have. Like, what if someone just says, I've never filed taxes before? This sounds terrifying.
It can definitely feel intimidating, I get that. But like we said, the IRS free file options are specifically designed to help with that. They use a simple question and answer format.
Like TurboTax or H&R Block software, but free for eligible folks.
Exactly. You don't need to be a tax pro. They guide you, prompt you for the info. It makes it much more approachable for first-timers.
Okay, that's reassuring. What about moving? Super common. I moved since 2021. My address is different.
Critical point. If you've moved, you must tell the IRS your new address. Otherwise, if they do send a check, it'll go to the old place.
Where do you do that?
You need to file Form 8822, change of address. You can get it on the IRS website, fill it out, mail it in. Simple form, but really important to make sure any refund reaches you.
Okay, Form 8822. Got it. Here's a tricky one. The IRS website or their records say they sent me the payment, but I swear I never got it.
That definitely happens. Mail gets lost, checks get stolen sometimes, errors occur.
Yeah.
In that situation, you need to request a payment trace.
A trace, okay.
You do that by filing Form 3911, Taxpayer Statement Regarding Refund. It basically tells the IRS, your records say paid, my records say not received, please investigate. They'll look into what happened to that specific payment.
Form 3911 for a payment trace. Good to know. And what if someone's just really uncomfortable doing tax stuff online? Maybe they worry about security or just prefer paper.
Totally understandable. There are alternatives. First, you could always go old school.
Right.
Download the 2021 tax forms and instructions from irs.gov, print them out, fill them in by hand, and mail them.
Takes longer, but it's an option.
Absolutely. Another great option is the VII program, Volunteer Income Tax Assistance.
Oh yeah, I've heard of VITA.
These are free tax help sites run by IRS-certified volunteers. They specifically help people with low to moderate incomes, people with disabilities, the elderly, taxpayers with limited English. They can help you prepare and file that 2021 return for free.
How do you find one?
There's the VII site locator tool on the IRS website. You can put in your zip code and find help near you.
Fantastic. So really the message is, don't let fear or confusion stop you. There are free tools, there's help available online and in person.
Exactly. Don't leave money on the table because the process seems daunting. Explore the options.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit. Let's be optimistic. You go through the steps, you file, you wait, and boom, that $1,400 hits your account or arrives in the mail. Now what? What could you do with it?
Ah, the fun part. This is where that money can actually start working for you. A really smart move could be tackling high-interest debt. Credit cards, maybe payday loans. Paying those down saves you money on interest in the long run.
Oh, absolutely. Getting rid of high-interest debt is like giving yourself an instant raise.
It really is. Another excellent use is starting or boosting an emergency fund. Just having, $500, $1,000, $1,400 set aside can be a huge stress reliever when unexpected car repairs or medical bills pop up.
I'm a huge advocate for the emergency fund. Seriously, it changes your relationship with money, knowing you have that buffer. What else?
Well, thinking a bit longer term, maybe use it to open a Roth IRA. Start saving for retirement where your money can grow tax-free. Even a small amount to start can make a difference over decades.
Good one. Investment for the future.
Or, hey, maybe you've been thinking about a side hustle. Starting a small online business, buying some initial supplies. This $1,400 could be the seed money you need to get that going.
Oh, I like that. Investing in yourself and your potential income.
Exactly. The point is to be intentional. Think about what would make the biggest positive impact on your financial situation, your peace of mind, your future goals. Financial freedom often begins with managing the money you do have wisely. This check could be a great catalyst for that.
Well said. It's about taking those proactive steps, isn't it? Using opportunities like this to move forward.
Absolutely.
So let's wrap this deep dive up with the core takeaway. If you're listening to this and there's even a whisper in the back of your mind saying, maybe I didn't get that last stimulus check.
That $1,400 one from 2021.
Yeah, please don't just dismiss it. Don't delay. Check it out. Go to irs.gov, look into free file, consider filing that 2021 tax return. Claim what might be yours. It's about reclaiming your power in a small but potentially significant way.
It really is. And maybe, just as a final thought to leave with our listeners, while you're considering this, take a moment. Ask yourself, what does financial freedom actually mean to me?
Good question.
Is it just less stress? Is it having more choices? Being able to pursue a passion? Whatever it is for you, maybe taking this one action, investigating this potential missed payment, could be the very first step on that journey.